Yo ho ho! And welcome to the 5th day of the 12 days of Christmas. Does that make sense? I hope it does. For today's video, I had absolutely no idea what to talk about since all my collab ideas with Davis have simply run out. So I decided to resort to what I always do when I have no ideas. And that is talk about Doctor Who. But I have to make it festive, so what do I talk about? How about my favourite festive Christmas Doctor Who episodes? Firstly, don't forget we have to pull Cracker, and unfortunately I'm all by myself today, so this is a bit tragic, but here it goes. Let's see who'll win, the left hand or the right hand. Right hand won. Now let's see what's the fact of today. Oh, first I have to wear my Christmas hat, I suppose. And the joke of today is, ready for it guys? You should be. Name a function of the eyebrows, apart from protecting the eyes from sweat. Facial expression. Ha 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 ha. This is a rubbish cracker. Guys, if you ever see a Guess Who cracker at your local supermarket, avoid, because they're rubbish. Anyway. Now at this point of the video I would usually have a script, but I don't have anything right now, so I'll just make it up as I go. So if I sound a bit stupid, well... Now the best thing about doing a video about my favourite Doctor Who Christmas specials is because they've only been happening since 2005, so classic Whovians can't accuse me of not being a proper Whovian because I didn't include any, well, classic episodes, so... Booyah, let's get started. Note, I'm only doing 3 because I can't be bothered to do 5. That fine with you, probably? I hope so. So let's get started. At number 3 is the 2006 episode, which was The Runaway Bride, featuring Catherine Tate and David Tennant. And I just have to say, I love the duo. They make such a good comedy duo, and that's something we haven't had in Doctor Who for such a long time. I mean, just look at Capaldi and Jenna Coleman. They're just so awkward and together. Now I know Donald Noble is one of the least liked companions, well, according to most online polls I've seen, and most people say that because they find her annoying, and let's face it, she's not very good looking. But I think Catherine Tate really rejuvenated the show after Rose, because let's face it, she was a bit weak. Can I say that? And then comes along Donna Noble, who's strong and independent and funny, and Catherine Tate brings a lot of humour that we've seen from the Catherine Tate Show, which is a fantastic show. If you haven't seen it, just YouTube it and you find lots of great clips, including one with David Tennant for comedy relief. And let's face it, the premise of the episode is genius, really. So we get, without the Doctor's knowledge, Donna Noble gets transported into the TARDIS without her knowledge either, and that leads to a really awkward exchange, and it's just fantastic to watch and see everything unravel, and the chemistry between Doctor and Donna is just fantastic. I also really like how the episode feels really small, as in it's really easy to relate to and stuff, because let's face it, it's set in modern day London. Well, when I say modern day London, I mean London in 2007, but you know, the point still stands. And when you also include the Noble family and some of her friends, such as Neris, who I adore, it leads to a really small and tight and connected feeling to the episode, and I really like that because it's a Christmas episode, and I feel that connecting with a family audience is really important, and this episode does it really well. And of course the plot is brilliant and sad and moving, and I like the twist at the end, and the climax was pretty spectacular, and it was fantastic. So if you're not a Catherine Tate hater, I hope you can agree with me that the episode was really good. Okay, moving on to number 2 on my list, and that is the 2012 episode of The Snowman. Now I just want to begin saying that the Victorian Clara is one of my favourite companions of all time, and I really wish that they kept her instead of the modern day Clara, because I feel we've had way too many modern day companions recently, and it would be really nice and refreshing to have one from the past so we get a new perspective. Once again, I really like the premise of the episode. We have the Doctor who has just lost the pons. Oh. Sorry, Amy. And he's really sad and mourning, which is something we don't really often see, because usually the Doctor loses a companion, he mourns for 5 minutes, and the episode's over and we start afresh in the new season or series. But here we get like an entire episode where he's mourning the pond, and that's really touching to see. So by seeing this new side to the Doctor, I really feel that Matt Smith is one of the darkest Doctors we've ever had. Yes, you can disagree with me. I know he's funny and awkward most of the time, but he's also really dark when he wants to be, and I really like that about Matt Smith, and that's one of the reasons why he's my favourite Doctor. Yes, you can laugh all you want at that statement. Clara's relationship with the Doctor is constantly intriguing, as she's really curious and she's really fun to be around with, I suppose. And it's really interesting to see the Doctor soften up in Clara's presence. And let's face it, the episode was completely and utterly gorgeous. I mean, if you were to judge episodes on merely their cinematography, this is probably the best episode of Doctor Who ever made. I mean, why can't recent episodes look like this? I mean, the 50th anniversary looked shite in comparison, and that was like a movie, sort of, so that's a bit disappointing. But this episode was gorgeous, and that made the reveal of the TARDIS even more spectacular. I mean, with the music, the huge sweeping shot around the TARDIS on a cloud, the reveal of the TARDIS was really spectacular and I loved it, and that's a scene I always rewatch on YouTube because there's a clip on YouTube. Thank you, BBC. The Mary Poppins imagery was fantastic. The symbol of having a Doctor who's like a god in the sky overlooking the world was really well done. The antagonists were really terrifying. I mean, the snowman and the great intelligence, and the setting was fantastic. The episode was really unbelievably good, and I hope you agree with me. Now on to number 1 of my list, which, surprise surprise, is another unpopular opinion, and it's the 2011 episode of The Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe. Now, I talked about this episode in my last Doctor Who top whatever video, so I guess you can see that by clicking on the link below, I suppose. But I'll just recap. I really like the period setting in World War II and the effect on the civilian population, especially around the personal relationships between Madge and her children. I really like the idea how it had 3 climaxes. Yes, I know it's like ending-itis, which is something I usually hate, but it's done really well here. I felt it was one of the most emotional Doctor Who episodes ever, especially with the pond at the end, which was so touching. Madge is one of the sweetest characters I've ever encountered. All the acting was really good, the episode looked good, the soundtrack was great, and the plot was moving, and most of all, it felt really Christmassy, which is something most Doctor Who Christmas episodes lack, especially with Time of the Doctor, where, to make it feel more Christmassy, they named the planet Christmas, which was a really bad and desperate idea. But with Doctor, the Widow and Wardrobe, it really did feel like a Christmas episode, and because of that and many other reasons, it's my best Doctor Who Christmas episode of all time. Yay! Now, if you agree with me, let me know in the comments below. If you don't, well, I hope I've changed your mind. I probably haven't. My points are probably stupid. You can tell me in the comments below. You want to see the last 12 days of Christmas video? You can probably see it in the description doobly-doo below, or I don't know, on a box on the screen probably. And until next time, bye, bye, bye.